In today's video, we're going to find out if me, a slow reader, can read a book in one day. The book that we're going to be reading is The Deal. This is actually a reread, and the only reason I'm reading this is because my best friend Rebecca wanted me to read it before the show came out. I have one day to read this, literally, because the show comes out, so let's hope that I can do it. For any of you who don't know what this book is about, it's a contemporary hockey romance, which might not be everyone's vibe, but my best friend Rebecca loves hockey and loves romance, so this is totally up her alley. It follows the perspective of this girl named Hannah, and she makes a deal with a hockey player at her college, and she's trying to get the attention of another guy, so they kind of fake date, and I'm sure you can guess the rest. I have read this book before, but I wanted to reread it because I forget everything that I read, and it's not too long. It's probably around 400 pages. I'm going to be doing a mixture of reading and audiobook while I do chores around the house, so this should be very interesting. I'm pretty sure I can finish it in a day, and if you are a slow reader, I totally recommend listening to audiobooks, especially if you are someone who's busy. But yeah, let's just get on to it. Okay, so I'm currently in the kitchen. I've been listening to the audiobook while I made my tea, and I'm thinking I'm gonna wash the dishes just so that I can get some work done while I'm also reading the book. But I thought that I would also make a couple of sweet treats that I can eat throughout the day. I have these bananas that, as you can tell, are about to go bad if they haven't already. I think they're still edible, so I'm going to make a little dessert with them. Currently, I am honestly pretty far in the book. I've obviously read this book before, so I'm just doing a quick reread, mainly through audiobook, just because I have a lot of things to do throughout the house today. I'm almost halfway through the book. I always say that I'm someone who just doesn't remember anything after I read it. And this book, I'm actually surprised at how much I do remember. Obviously, I don't remember every single scene, but I do remember a lot of the plot points in it, and I'm actually liking it again. I feel like it's taking me back to the time when I was reading this, so that's really nice. I know my best friend loves this series, so I'm just kind of reading it just to enjoy watching the show with her and just having someone to talk about it with. I do have to say, I don't remember there being as much swearing as there is, so just keep that in mind. There's also smut scenes in this book, so take that as you will. Okay, I forgot how witty this book is, and I love this couple. I think they're so funny together. I don't know, I just can't stop smiling, even though there's certain pages where I'm like, I wouldn't like that, but I'm also kind of picky, so. But this is so cute, and I'm kind of glad I reread it. I don't usually reread books, but my friend really wanted me to because she wanted me to know what was going on before the show comes out in 2 days. But it's just making me so giddy, and aside from some of the scenes that I'm like, I understand why it's there because that's just the environment that this book takes place in, but it's just so cute. Also, my alarm just went off, so we shall look at the cookies. Okay, so it's Wednesday, which means that the show came out, and I'm waiting for my friends to tell me when they start, because we're all going to start at the same time, and I'm going to give you some of my reactions. Before we start the show, though, I want to give you the reactions that I had the second time reading this book. I really love the romance. I think Garrett and Hannah are just really cute together, and they are their banter is very nice and it's very funny at times. I kind of missed that. I haven't read a romance in such a long time, so this was kind of refreshing for me. The one thing that I forgot about is how smutty this book is, so if you like smut, go ahead, read at your own discretion. I have not been picking up smut books anymore because I think sometimes it can be overkill. I do have a personal conviction as a Christian to not read that and not gravitate towards those books anymore. I don't mind when it's implied or it's very brief, but this book does go in detail of things, and I did have to skip a lot of parts because I just don't really need to read some of that. I think maybe the first scene is kind of important to the story, but then everything else just I could have done without personally. I did feel like the main character, Hannah, was a little bit too perfect. I didn't feel this the first time, but now having read so many other books, I felt like she didn't really make too many flaws, and every decision that she made was always justified, and the viewer or the reader was always on her side. And I kind of wish that there was more character development on her part. I feel like Garrett had this really big character development moment throughout the book, and he really changed as a person and he opened up a lot. But Hannah, I feel like the only thing that changed about her is going for a guy like Garrett and giving him a chance, but I don't feel like that's enough character development for me. So that is something that I just didn't really like as much, and something that I didn't notice in my first read, so I guess it's interesting to reread books. I don't reread too many books, so this was also an interesting experiment for me. I'm really excited to see what the show does with the book, and I wonder what scenes they take out and what scenes they add, and if they stay super close. I did hear from my friend Rebecca that they do include a couple of the other couples in the later books into the first season, so I've only read the first two books, but I only reread the first one, so I don't remember anything about the second one besides just like who the characters are. So I hope I'm not too lost while watching this. I don't know if I plan on continuing the series. I think I'm just gonna listen to it. I'm not going to buy the books. I'm not gonna read it because it's not my genre of reading. I do like the romance, but I don't like the smut, and so I just wouldn't mind skipping a couple of those parts if it is the same amount as the first one. So yeah, let's just get onto it. I'm going to wait for my friends to start it, and then I will give you some of my live reactions while I'm watching it. I'm not gonna lie, I love this cast, specifically the main two characters. I feel like I'm feeling the chemistry already, I'm not gonna lie, this is great. Hannah is exactly how I pictured her. Garrett, not so much, but he's really growing on me, and I feel like it's really good. I don't know why I imagined her friend a little bit differently, but I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I'm enjoying this a lot more because I read the book. So, I mean, it's still cute, but because I know what's coming, I'm really enjoying this. I think sometimes I forget that they're in college and that this is what college looks like, because I went to college in New York City and this is not my experience, so it's kind of interesting like looking at it on the screen instead of reading it, because obviously when I'm reading it I'm imagining my college, but this is not what was what was in my head, but it makes more sense. It's really interesting how they're adding some different elements to this show. It's kind of making me enjoy it more because I already know the story from the book, but this is just a different version of that. So that's kind of cool. I know, like, I used to be a very strict, like, don't deviate from the book at all, but I'm actually enjoying this. Not the One Direction! I am like trying to think to myself right now, and I feel like this show would come out really cringy if you haven't read the book and you get the little references that they've sprinkled in there. Because I'm really enjoying it, but I feel like people might not enjoy it if they haven't read the book. Alright, I cannot believe that I'm saying this, But I think I might like the show better than the book, or at least I'm starting to. I just finished the first episode. I'm going to finish the rest on my own time, but I just wanted to review and have my thoughts out there for the first episode. They did change a lot, but they also didn't, if that makes sense. They took elements from the book and they just expanded on it in the show. And I really appreciated that. I feel like there's a little bit more depth into the show than the book. I think the book feels a little forced. It feels more like a romance book with the other elements incorporated in there, but this one just feels more real to me. The only thing that I had trouble with is the explicit scenes. If you're under 18, you should not be watching the show or reading the book. But I really do appreciate the show. I'm hoping that the rest goes really well, and I can't wait to see the other episodes. I probably will be skipping this explicit scenes just because I don't really want to see that, but other than that, this is a really great show. I love it. So I'm glad you got to join me on this journey of reading a book in a day and also watching the TV show right after. I feel like that's kind of different for me. If you would like to see more videos like this, please subscribe and also like this video, and just leave in the comments whatever book you're reading or any 5-star reads that you have, just because I really want new recommendations. I feel like in the YouTube community, I just keep hearing about the same books over and over again, so I really want to go a little bit out of my comfort zone. So if you have any romances that just don't have too much smut that you can recommend, please leave that in the comments. So far I have 10 subscribers, so to my 10 followers out there, you are the best. And thank you for supporting me. And I know sometimes it feels like I am making these videos to no one, but I really appreciate everyone who gives me a like or comments on my videos. It really means a lot to me. So until next time, bye.